Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's Tuesday, so it's CASEing the Catalogue day, and today's case comes from the Stampin' Up holiday catalogue on page 30. Now it's using the Feathers and Frost stamp set, so I'm going to bring the catalogue in and just quickly show you. So it is this stamp set here, which is really pretty, and today's card that we're doing is this one that's up here. So I'm going to bring the card in and just quickly show you. Now, when I made this sample card, I only had the Champagne Mist and Frost White in the shimmer paint. I've since bought the copper, which this is all coppers, Merry Merlot and Call Me Clover. So today's card we're going to use the copper shimmer paint. So we'll see how much that is a little bit different with the card. And I'm not sure how well it picks up, but can you see all these splatters down here as well? So that is really shining and bright in real life. I know it's not really picking that up on the camera. So let's go over to the craft table and we'll get started. So today's card's using Feathers and Frost stamp set, which I'll bring that up and just quickly show you as well. It is a photopolymer stamp set in the holiday catalogue. The inks we're using today are Call Me Clover and Merry Merlot. We also are using the Versamark ink pad, copper embossing powder, the embossing buddy. We have the bright copper shimmer paint and also some copper metallic thread. The kit for today's class is this one here, and all the measurements and supplies can be found over on my blog, and that is in the description of this video. There is also a link to my online store in the description, as well as my Hostess code for the month. If you are placing an order through me, which I really appreciate, please use that Hostess code and I'll send you out a free gift as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, I've already scored my card front. I'm just going to fold and burnish. And then we're going to work on the piece of very vanilla cardstock. Now, as I said before, it is a photopolymer stamp set, so we're going to have to bring in the foam mat. And then I'm going to use the leaf background stamp here, and I'm going to ink up with Call Me Clover. And we're going to ink that down. We'll stamp that down sort of towards the top, more so than the middle. There we go. Now while we have that out, I'm just going to open up my ink pad because I'm just going to colour in the leaves. So bringing my aqua painter in, just going to make sure there's a bit of water down in the barrel. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly colour in all those leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward the video so you don't have to see me do this for 10 minutes. Okay, so they're all lightly coloured in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through and just add an extra darker colour just to those leaves to give it just that little bit more oomph. Okay, I've put a bit of a smudge there, so hopefully I can cover that up a little bit with my sentiment. Then I'm going to bring in the Merry Merlot ink pad, and I'm going to colour in all those little berries there. So let's quickly do those. Try not to put any more smudges down on my card. Okay. Now on top of those berries, that's where I put that champagne mist shimmer paint. So I'm going to bring in my paintbrush, and I'm just going to use the end of my paintbrush and just dot some of that shimmer paint on top of those berries. So the shimmer paint actually has to be well mixed first, so let's do that. And I'm really just going to use what's in my ink in the top of the lid. So I've got my paintbrush here, and I'm just going to use the tip. So just a little bit on top of each of those berries. And this is going to take a little while for it to dry, so we're going to pop it to the side and wait for it to dry. But it gives it some beautiful sparkle. Doesn't that look good? You can see there's really quite big dots there on the berries. So while I'm waiting for that to dry too, I might just do that splatter. So I'm going to bring in just a little block, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of this using my paintbrush again. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it as well, just to loosen that down so it's not quite so thick and clumpy. It's just out of my water bottle here. Hopefully that's enough. Yeah, that's good. Now, because we are splattering this around, you want to make sure that everything that you don't want splattered is moved out of the road. So I'm just going to move my card. I'm also going to bring in just another bit of grid paper. So let's pop that down. Put a bit more on my paintbrush, I think. That's great. Just make sure you clean your paintbrush when you're done as well. So I'm going to bring that up so you can see all those flecks that I've been splattered on there. So I'm going to pop that to the side into the sun. And we'll move on to the sentiment now. So I have my sentiment strip of Very Vanilla card. And the sentiment is Season's Greetings. And we're going to bring the embossing buddy in and swipe that over that piece of cardstock. And then we're using Versamark to ink our stamp up. And then we have the copper embossing powder. Let's pop that in the middle. So like I said before, all the measurements can be found over on my blog. There we go. And this is the copper embossing powder. Have the heat tool here, so let's heat this up and we'll get that all melted. So all this needs to be done is we're just going to bena cut the ends. If you have the bena punch, obviously use your bena punch. I'm just going to cut up to the middle and then cut from each side. And the same for the other side. So this piece is now dry, so we're going to glue that straight down to the Merry Merlot card, and I'm just using my Tombow glue. I'm also going to grab my copper metallic thread, and I want to do over my 4 fingers, just going over a few times. This is going to attach to the sentiment. So like this. So I'm also going to bring in my dimensionals because this is going to get popped up. I'm going to secure those ends of that thread down with the dimensional. So just like that. And I'm going to even that all up so it's the same on either side. There, pop another dimensional there, and then I'm just going to stick, I might cut some sides up because I sort of want one on here and this one and in the middle, so let's cut some of the sides up. There we go. This one can get popped straight down on the cards. This is a very quick, easy card and would make a great multiples for your Christmas stash. I also have the metallic sequin assortment. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick up what sequins I want. And I obviously want the copper ones, so there's 2 different sizes in here of them, so the bigger one and then smaller ones. Actually, I think there's 3. I only bought these the other day. I had the old sets, I think. No. Let's see if I can see some smaller ones as well. Okay, so I have 3 of the small ones and 2 of the bigger ones, and I'm going to bring my fine tip glue pen and pop some dots down so then I can put the sequins on top. One over here. Don't think this is as tacky anymore, so I'm just going to screw this out a little bit and grab some more through. There we go. And the 3 smaller ones. The last one over here. Oh, it's so pretty and sparkly. Pop the lid back on my fine tip glue pen. You want to make sure you pop that straight back on as soon as you finish with it. So the one we made today is on the left, and this one is the one using the champagne mist. So there is a difference in the sparkle. This one's, the one in the copper stands out a lot more than the champagne mist. Both very pretty. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and all the measurements and supplies and more photos can be found over on my blog, and that's in the description of this video. Until next time, have a good day. Bye.